Hello, my friends, and welcome back to match 2 of our doubleheader here on Friday Night Overwatch. My name's Bullskunk alongside Sultan here, bringing you some Tier 3 action. We do have Seattle Peaks going up against Double Dinkers here to close out the night. In case you missed our little desk, a little pregame desk there, these are a pair of 2 and 3 teams that could not be more evenly matched. Both coming in, well, one 7 and 13, the other 8 and just 50 SR separating these two teams across the entire team average. What do you make of these two teams coming in? Who do you think is going to take this one home?
Well, like you mentioned, 8 and 13 and 7-13 respectively in the map differential. Both teams 2 and 3 nestled very tightly into the middle of Tier 3 for Xbox NA. And it's actually it's kind of interesting to see because both the teams coming into this have a bit of a different story for their season. Seattle Peaks starting out early with a pretty strong win, kind of a sweaty win, I guess. 5 rounds to win 3-2 over Rise, but then 2 losses back to back where they didn't get a single map, coming back and getting a 4-0 win and then losing last week. So it's been a very up and down season for Seattle Peaks and looking to right the ship here after reports of some inconsistency in their roster through the first half of the season. So looking to see if they can get a win here and get back to 500. Double Dinkers on the other side, though, started the season very poorly, coming out 0-4 in 3 straight games and really struggling to find that first win. But since week 4, 2 wins back-to-back, looking to maintain the momentum here to correct their season. So while both of these teams may not be really shooting for a playoff spot, they're definitely looking to finish the season strongly and on top 500. So I'm excited for this matchup. I think it's going to be a little bit more one-sided than the first half, Bullskunk, and I'm looking forward to see what they have.
Yeah, Double Dinkers definitely have the wind in their sails. Seattle Peaks come here a bit. And, just a little bit of a reminder, we are going to be starting off on Ilios here. Will be your control map for tonight. We will head to Blizzard World for your hybrid, Volskaya as your assault map, and Dorado to round out our 4 maps. We will head to Nepal for our tiebreaker if necessary. And as far as our hero pools are concerned, you will not see any Orisa, nor will you see our new character, Echo. No Tracer out here either, much to the chagrin of Echo still there on the side of Seattle Peaks. And we're not going to see any Moira. So an interesting caveat to the take line of not having the Orisa and the Moira. So I'm very curious to see how these teams adapt. But if you are ready,
such a critical tank.
Yes, sir.
Such a critical tank. So it should be interesting to see how they go. Are the teams ready though? Was that what you were about to say?
I believe so. We finally got our last player in here. So just waiting for the captains to give me the thumbs up, and we'll get this series underway. What are your thoughts on Ilios as far as control maps go?
I personally like Ilios. I don't really think there's a control map that I don't like. Obviously, with Well, it feels like every single time we talk about Ilios, we have to talk about Well and the environmental kills that are so prevalent there on the point. But all the way around, pretty balanced map. I think we generally see a lot of 2-1s here. It goes all 3 rounds just because of the nature of each one of the different stages. They're just very different and can really play to the strengths of either side. So I think Ilios should be kind of a toss-up for me. I think going into the next game, though, you've got Blizzard World and Volskaya, which can be very difficult maps, especially when you think about Blizzard World time from the spawn to the first point. That is a long walk and can really gum up a lot of teams. So definitely favoring defense, where Volskaya on the other hand, very much a draw map. I feel like we see a lot of draws on 2CP, or at least we have through a few of the weeks here on Friday Night Overwatch. So maybe a repeat here, but as it looks like we're dropping into this first game, finally getting going here. Excited to see what the teams have for us here on Ilios.
Yeah, and I'm excited to see how they adapt to Well. Obviously, Orisa, very strong, very common pick. Assuming we do end up seeing that map. Ruins is another one worth mentioning there. You're not going to get that character there. And Ruins, to me, man, that was one of the maps I hated the most when I first started playing, and now it's one of my favorites. You just get so much variety, so many different compositions that you can utilize. But we are starting out on Lighthouse here today. Get things started in our second series of the evening. It does look like Seattle Peaks coming out with a little Reinhardt Zarya. They're going to use McCree and May to put the hurt down. Baptiste and Lucio to keep the team alive. On the other side, Ryan Zarya as well with a Farah Ash. I almost said McCree, but nope, it's McCree's better half over there. What are your thoughts on these compositions here as we get this thing underway?
Well, you see the Lucio there on the side of Seattle Peaks, and that's going to help them obviously get the point a little bit quicker. So I like the pick there from them. Interesting that we don't have one on the other side with the Farah instead. So if we can, if Double Dinkers are able to win the battle in the sky, they could have a bit of an advantage. But already it looks like Seattle Peaks trying to get onto point quickly and create some space for themselves. The blood there, Baptiste for Seattle Peaks, keeping everybody up and protects as the point starts to open up. It could be pretty easy for Seattle Peaks to take.
Are you kidding me? How quick did he get that barrage? 3 kills coming through from Lake Condina right out of the gate. Make that a 4K after a little bit of clean. It makes that 5 with the big time plays before the control point even unlocked. He's got barrage in the pocket and already laying down the hurt. We did get Seattle with a 9% on the board, but quickly dismantled, sent back to spawn. And it's going to be double Dinkers here.
With play right off the bat.
Right out of the
gate. How do you earn a barrage that quickly? How do you earn a barrage? So many direct hits and heavily putting the hurt on there for Seattle Peaks. They'll try and come back into the point.
And we do have the support ults coming online here for Seattle Peaks as they're looking to come back in, see if they can get a retake here. They need to get that May in position to get max value. We are going to get the Ant Matrix coming out early, and Protocol making good use, finds that headshot onto the Ash. Early advantage here, charge into the corner as the Reinhardts go shield to shield. Echo still with a little help there, and the Reinhardt goes down on the side of Double Dinkers on a not far behind, and the flip will come right back through. Seattle Peaks taking this thing right back over.
And still a lot of pressure coming in from Cadena out on the side of the Double Dinkers here. The Farah still has a little bit of help with the Mercy Pocket from Papa Nerfy and Ultimate on the way. That'll be the second one here very early on in the game. So interested to see if they can play this, but already a little bit disadvantaged. So we're coming in with the kill there means that Seattle Peaks should be disadvantaged trying to come into this next attack.
Well, I can't help but wonder. I mean, I'm kind of surprised that Farah was able to survive that long in the back line. Can't help but wonder if Seattle should have just focused her down, but nope, they're going to turn their attention right up to the front, take out the Ash immediately, and just storm over the front line here. Blizzard coming out. That's going to pick up both tanks sent back to spawn. And yeah, what a great play, but you still have that Farah working on the objective. In fact, she flips this thing single-handedly, takes out the McCree, and gets the point back in control. Good, if anything, buying a lot of time, but a late barrage coming out. I don't think you might have want that one back.
Yeah, not a fan of the barrage there. You've got 6 ultimates if you're Double Dinkers, an opportunity to get back in. You're right, though. Dana able to play outside the back of the point and took it momentarily, but I think Seattle Peaks will take that trade if they can come back in and right the ship like they did. And now the getting punished for it, too. That is tough to see.
The bat did get booped off the side with a nice conch blast, but the Graviton Surge coming out to take care of the recently revived Farah and the Mercy to boot. Now we're getting May walls up. Frontline stands no chance against this onslaught coming through from Seattle, and they are 81% and counting. We're in final fight territory here for Double Dinkers, but they do have some ultimates online to work with.
Yeah, shocking that we haven't seen Double Dinkers try and push a little bit harder. They've had ultimates now for a significant amount of time, and you think they could use to push back in and kind of create some space on the point for themselves. But Seattle Peaks have been really smart in how they've been delaying their ultimates, kind of stacking them a little bit and always having something to use for each fight. But here comes the next one with the Graviton.
Earth Shatter used as well. Nice charge coming through. And Kinsey's going to find 2 kills. Snowquack coming up the pair as well. And it looks like with the overtime wick of burn, and Double Dinkers will get this control flipped right back over.
Ooh, but at what cost? 4 ultimates, I think, used there in that fight. So it could be just a matter of one win coming back for Seattle Peaks to try and take this next one. They've got the sound barrier there in the pocket, so an opportunity to offset the fight pretty quickly. If they get a couple kills, there's really going to be no response for Double Dinkers. So we'll see if they can hold on just through this next fight and get to truly final fight territory with a little bit higher percentage. But a big pick right off the bat on the protocol from Cadena could actually turn the tide in their favor.
Who's built up to 92% on that barrage, and they have got to do something to take this Farah out of the skies. Otherwise, it's going to be a world of hurt here for Seattle. An early Baptiste Immortality Field coming out, and they may want that one back as that barrage is ready to go. Be looking for this thing to make an impact. Meanwhile, Seattle just focusing that front line, trying to win the tank war. And fetal position does pick up one, but the Earthshatter coming back the other way. And Zara and the Baptiste get dropped. The follow-up not quite there. In fact, Bikaras coming through to back up his team, knocks the Reinhardt right off the side. Into the drink you go. And Seattle, they're going to maintain control here. Overtime Wick starting to burn down. Res does come through onto that far, but it's not going to be enough. Seattle taking Lighthouse.
Yeah, and they were trying that last fight too. Echo still though was put in a really difficult position. I think was slept and stunned, able to get away from it, and they just didn't follow up on the kill on the Zarya, and it ended up being the difference maker, able to get the rest, but ultimately to no avail. And a very strong start here for Seattle Peaks winning the first round.
Now we are going to head into Ruins here for round number 2. Looks like Seattle sticking with that Reinhardt Zarya, but bringing out the Widowmaker. No big surprise here on this map. And if Vespalazar sticks on this Ashe, I think we might see a big mismatch coming up here on Ruins. They are going to go over to a McCree as well. So looking for a little bit of a double pick comp, double hit scan coming out. And that one kind of surprises me. I guess you could struggle running the Pharah into the Widowmaker, but a lot of skybox to work with here. And they were getting a lot of success with that Pharah. I think that was one of the shining lights of round one for them.
Yeah, a little worried about the hit scans here for Double Dinkers. They're running into a lot of congestion with the Mei wall combined with the Zarya and the Rhine shield. So it may be difficult for them to find the way to make a difference in this game. Now, wide protocol going in, shooting some shots over the top, gets one on a Vespalazer, and immediately the advantage going the way of Seattle Peaks, who are picking up where they left off in round one. Answering back to Dana, though, switching off the Pharah 2, and McCree gets a pick as well, and things with both those rests coming through, they're both even at 6.
Yeah, that's my fears were confirmed there, as it is going to be the Widowmaker winning that early duel, giving them an advantage. But the bounce back, Seattle Peaks do have control, but they're not quite out of the fire yet. As Kenzie swinging for the fences, he's able to pick up a pair with a little help from Snoquack, who's made a swap over to the Roadhog here. And it is going to be Double Dinkers getting this thing flipped on the board here for Seattle Peaks. And I think Double Dinkers, well, they're going to have a couple ultimates coming online, and we'll have the Earthshatter directly follow shortly behind that Deadeye. But once again, Protocol winning that duel against Vespalazar.
Yeah, it's going to be an important fight here for Double Dinkers to try and get some significant purchase on the point. Early picks, though, huge here, but the wall going right up to prevent Mackenzie from being able to use the Shatter, but still 2 picks should win in this fight and earn a little bit more percentage. Vespalazer taking out Protocol, who switched over to the Widow to try and contest a little bit off the what his game was that? But to no kill now, losing out those Widow fights.
Yeah, coming off the Ashe onto the Widowmaker was definitely a smart move there for Vespalazar, and immediately wins that first duel after getting dinked in the dome 2 times prior. Now, we do have Seattle Peaks coming back in, Blizzard coming online, Infrasights on the field, Earthshatter in the pocket as the Reinhardt goes just jumping down onto the objective fearlessly. Seattle Peaks pressing the attack here, but Nanoboost coming out on the other side. A juiced up Reinhardt trying to counterpunch right back. We have the Deadeye coming out. That picked off. Echo still on the Zarya, but here comes the Earthshatter the other way. Earthshatter finds 3 combined with the Blizzard, and you have Kinsey frozen stiff. Snoquack not in much better position here. He does manage to escape, able to use that take a breather, but I think this is just going to be cleanup here for Seattle Peaks. A late Valkyrie invested as well. But they do get the res on the Rhine. Yeah, it's going to buy a lot of time off that clock. Oh, and a big pin to take out the Mei. Can they swing this thing, Sultan?
It actually looks like they might be able to turn around, but as we say that, it looks like Genzi's going down. But at that kind of situation, when you've already got the point, why not contest for as long as possible? They did have the Valkyrie up. I don't know at which one exactly it was called, but able to get the res off and delay that for a little bit longer could help them as we come back into this next fight. But you're looking at the ultimate economy right now, and Double Dinkers look like they're in pole position to take this next round and send us to a round 3. Graviton going out early here from Echo still trying to grab a couple, but is there any follow-up? Res coming through, though, for Seattle Peaks means I think they have a bit of the advantage, but not significantly enough. Snoquack anxious one the other direction. 2 picks now for Double Dinkers, and could they take the point back here?
Snoquack making great use of that newly buffed Roadhog ultimate. And it does indeed look like Double Dinkers will win this fight. Both DPS coming up with some big picks. And the Graviton Surge on the other side just having null effect. Not able to follow that up thanks to some big plays from Snoquack on that Roadhog.
Making some big moves here. Not afraid to use the ultimates in this round, certainly. And still 2 to work with as they continue defending the point here. 98, 99%. A few of the percentage starting to go as it looks like Seattle Peaks trying to get back on the point. Big shatter here. Might have caught a couple. Oh, Mackenzie right off the side. Oh, with the nano. That's not what you want to see completely through. And that could cost them here as now Seattle Peaks have an opportunity. Blizzard down, looking for a couple, but kills still going the way of the red team. And it doesn't look like Seattle Peaks really have an answer for this red attack.
No, with the overtime wick of burn, and Seattle was forced to just hurl themselves into the welcoming grasp of Double Dinkers, and they were happy to oblige. Candina had that Deadeye online ready to go, landed some nice shots onto fetal position to take out the Reinhardt, and it was just clean up from there for Double Dinkers. Now we're all tied up and heading to well.
Yeah, ultimately that Mackenzie pin right off the side or charge right off the side didn't end up hurting them as much as it could have. So glad they were able to get that one and taking it straight to a 3rd round here in Ilios for all the marbles.
Does look like Seattle going over to a little bit of a Reinhardt Roadhog composition of their own. Man, this one surprises me. You know, not a very traditional tank lineup, but worked for Double Dinkers there in that last round. So we'll see. As we do have the May McCree coming out from Seattle Peaks here, with the Pharmacy coming back out here for Double Dinkers, accompanied by an Ash.
Well, it was effective for Double Dinkers in that first round to some extent. I think this point really does help more so than Lighthouse for Ferris to get a lot of space through. So we'll see if Kadena can be a little bit more effective in the sky this time. Opening up shallowly here, though. Looks like Seattle Peaks going around the left-hand side to try and get a little bit of space here. But Mackenzie completely aware of it, trying to block them out. The res going back through to get that fallen Pharaoh, who's already gone down once, then goes and returns the favor by getting a kill into the Roadhog. And now Double Dinkers with the advantage as the point opens up.
Yeah, I thought Seattle Peaks was doing a good job of pressing the assault here, pushing forward, but Double Dinkers able to catch that aggression and just send them right back to spawn. And finally, someone comes up with some capture percentage, and that's going to go to Double Dinkers here. They've now built up towards an Earth Shatter, but not much else to speak of. We'll have a barrage not too far behind. Good news for them is not anything at all coming online soon here for Seattle Peaks.
Yeah, not a lot to work with at all, and Mackenzie's already with the shadow, like you said, and a chance to create the difference. But now maybe too aggressive here from Double Dinkers, trying to push out for point a little bit, suffering forward as Vespa Laser goes down, and immediately it's a 6v5 now coming into the next engagement. So we'll see if they can react to it. The barrage, Double Dinkers wastes no time using it, tries to find it. Fantastic mortality there, though, from Blood to try and keep Seattle Peaks alive, and mostly does so. Field position, the only one to fall from that barrage is Echo Stone will take advantage of the exposed Reinhardt. Still back and forth as Double Dinkers hold on to the point, but maybe kills starting to come the other direction.
Oh, May just ice blocking in the final moment, able to keep just perhaps a snowflake on the toe's edge there, but Snowquack puts in a nice hook and is going to layer her down into the pit. She goes. It is Double Dinkers here, kind of controlling the majority of this fight, controlling the space. Beaker Ross trying to answer back, does boot Snowquack into the hole. Mackenzie coming up with one. Vespa Lazar finding himself a pair of kills as well. And now with a massive ult advantage and 65% on the board, Double Dinkers in full control of well. I don't know if Seattle is going to be able to strike back here.
Yeah, what you're going to run into here now with 4, maybe 5 ultimates coming up for Double Dinkers and just the 3 here. I mean, that's kind of coming up on 5 for Seattle Peaks. The problem is 77% of the percentage means that Seattle absolutely has to win this fight here. They're going to be running into ultimates. It's going to be the last round all over again. So we'll see how they approach this. It's already 84, 85% ultimates start to come in here. They come all the way around. There's a rocket barrage. It's gigantic from Kadena. Mackenzie and Kadena combined completely wiped the team. A huge combination here from Double Dinkers, showing them how it's done. And as the point goes 95, 96%, I do not see a comeback here for Seattle Peaks.
Yeah, that is going to close it out. Seattle not able to get back to the point there.
Ooh, an insane combination from Double Dinkers to take that first map. And yeah, I mean, like we said, went to a 2-1. Mackenzie with the play of the game. We'll see what was that last barrage combo or somewhere else. But really solid play here from Double Dinkers in the first map.
Well, taking an early lead, we will be heading to Blizzard World for map number 2. Just doing a little communication here with the cap. So forgive me if I'm slightly distracted there, but what do you think was the big difference maker? I mean, it seemed to be a very close battle, just as anticipated here. But I mean, that Pharah seemed to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, well, like I said, I think, yeah, Kadena had the hardest time on Lighthouse because of the gaps in order to get into the point and very tight, and so it's a little bit harder to be as effective. But when you've got the space that you have on well, just complete open air to rain down damage, it really does change, make the difference. Obviously, able to get those directs quickly. We saw it with the early rocket barrage in that first round. The capability was there. It was just a matter of the landscape maybe working against the comp that they decided to run. So. I think if Seattle Peaks maybe been a little bit more assertive with the ultimate usage, they could have been in a position to win that second match. But yeah, ultimately, Double Dinkers coming out strongly, settling in a little bit and getting the W in the first round. Blizzard World, a whole different animal. I will say, though, that Double Dinkers, I believe, will be the attacking team coming out. They've got Kadena, who probably will go fair again. It's the same kind of situation where Blizzard World can be really good. But you've also got situations and positions where a Hitscan can set up really easily and pick out that Pharah before coming through the tight opening there at that first choke. So we'll see if Seattle Peaks can maybe find, maybe some Ash players, some McCree play that could shut down the Pharah, but Kadena could cause a lot of problems here tonight for Seattle Peaks if not responded.
Well, we're going to take a quick intermission here. Had a little bit of a technical issue with the room. So we're going to get this thing reset up, figure this thing out, and we will get back to you. We'll see you on Blizzard World. Y'all don't Overwatch multi-tier tournament here on Friday night. Overwatch headed into Blizzard World in our Tier 3 matchup between Seattle Peaks and Double Dinkers. Double Dinkers able to come away with the win, narrowly edging out Ilios there. And we've got all the wrinkles ironed out. We are smooth as silk here and are ready to get into map number 2. So, Sultan, what are your thoughts on Blizzard World?
Not a fan, truth be told. Blizzard World, not one of my favorites. I believe I have a losing record on Blizzard World, but not like a slightly losing record. I don't even know what the third point of this map looks like. I never get there. And I'm always facing behind me because I'm backing up into it. So we'll see how the teams react here. If you're just joining us for playing the Christmas Blizzard World map, because apparently there's a bug on the main one if you shatter as Reinhardt right now. So to prevent all that happening, we're getting a little Christmas in May.
Hey, you know, it's so pretty. It's so pretty.
May is Christmas.
I mean, you gotta love the icicles everywhere. Yeah.
It is really nice, actually. I do like the winter maps. Hanamura, Kings Row.
We will get Seattle starting us off on the defense here, bringing us that Reinhardt diva, like you were starting to say, McCree May, or McCree Me, however you want to phrase it, with Baptiste and Lucio to round things out, keep the team alive and standing. On the side of the offense, Double Dinkers looks like they're sticking with this pharmacy composition that so far has served them very, very well.
Yeah, for Seattle Peaks, the change this round needs to be eliminating the Pharah threat. That ended up being their downfall in Ilios, and as you know, as we see right now, Double Dinkers going right back to what they know. It worked for them before. Why not repeat that? So eliminating Cadena from the sky is going to be the biggest issue. Seattle Peaks had I believe, they were a lot more successful though when they forced Cadena to switch over to the McCree. So we'll see how it pans out for them here. Quick dive in though immediately from Snowquack on the Winston, trying to create some space here on the point. A very deep defense from Seattle Peaks. His protocol takes out Cadena early, and that's exactly what they need to do. Res comes in, which is going to be helpful, but the attack continues to push Bullskunk.
Yeah, Vespalazar coming up with a nice pick as fetal position goes down. Protocol drops directly following. This is going to be a quick snowball into point A. Double Dinkers looking very strong on this assault, despite the slight hiccup in losing Cadena early. They are able to find that res, get back to a full 6-man roster, and storm over this point. They've already got one tick of permanent progress picked up. In fact, the rest of the team really feeling the aggression and pushing all the way into streets here just to try to claim some space. And man, look at all the ground they have conquered. With Cadena already with Barrage online, Bob already out on the playing field here, and they are just now getting the payload out of the garage.
Yeah, Double Dinkers making it look too easy. Cadena for the second game in a row now with the barrage within the first 45 seconds. Impressive fair play here from Cadena, and again, causing problems for the opposing team. A double kill there on May and Lucio, and immediately, you know, the payload pushing behind them. Seattle Peaks has absolutely no idea about the status of the payload right now. They're nowhere near it.
So they're going to go ahead and drop that barrage in. Defensive Matrix was there for most of it, but can't absorb it all. Echo still does get demeched. And they continue to put the pressure down. Cadena just landing rockets directly like a sniper. Picking off Bika Ross there. Fetal position does strike back, takes down Snowquack, which is an interesting wrinkle in this composition. I like the Winston here as the off-tank on point B of Blizzard World. A lot of high ground to work with. Cadena is able to find Protocol there on the back, but I think minus their Winston, they are going to go ahead and give up a little bit of space. As you can see, Seattle Peaks trying to push back in on the objective and see if they can play this tight little brawly style that served them so well. And they are going to get the wall up. They do get an early opening pick. Cadena finds the May. Diva Bomb coming out. Does not find anything on that, but does force the rest of the team back. Here comes a big Earth Shatter down. That's going to find too, but the charge is countered. And the follow-up, not quite there, though. It is just now a big back and forth on the objective. Kinsey got himself a nano boost in there, a dying wish coming from that one Tiger. And that is going to allow Double Dinkers to chase Seattle Peaks all the way back to spawn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. It looked like Seattle Peaks, that was going to be the fight for them. They finally built up some ultimates, but now those ultimates have come and gone, and still they weren't able to get really push Double Dinkers back at all. Finally, they decided it's worth it to push the payload that last little bit instead of fighting halfway up the third point, but got it, they did. And yeah, what it comes down to, like you mentioned, Snowquack on the Winston's creating an interesting dynamic here for Seattle Peaks to try and respond to. When you've got a Pharah in the sky, if you're able to win the ground war, the Pharah becomes obsolete because she's just not causing the problem. But when you've got a Winston also going back there, disrupting your supports, causing chaos in and around your tank line, it's difficult to try and fight two battles. And so Kadena is free to just rain in those rockets, and we're seeing the dividends pay off here for Double Dinkers as they come in for yet another onslaught with 4:40 on the clock and not far to go.
We're going to get the Ant Matrix coming out, kind of in an awkward position. I'm not sure if there's anybody there to take it. Perhaps a healing, more defensive Ant Matrix coming out as the barrage lays down across the point. But Protocol, he's ready for it. This time, not caught off guard. Good job from Echo still to help DM the majority of that damage as Protocol picks him down. Sound barrier coming out on the side of Seattle Peaks as well, but we're going to get the Primal Rage in response. Snowquack trying to even this thing up, but they're definitely at a man disadvantage here. And fetal position, Echo still able to find some kills and hopefully allow this defense to stabilize.
Yeah, Seattle Peaks finding some inspiration there, finally getting the kills they need to win one single team fight. It's been a long time coming, still a lot of room to work with, and now they're really kind of turning the screw on some of these stragglers. We'll see if the attack of Double Dinkers gets too aggressive or if they remember that they need to actually group back up if they're going to take this. Ultimate starting to build now, 2 support ultimates plus the Shatter on the way for the current attackers, while Seattle Peaks sitting here with a Shatter of their own and the Deadeye. Protocol in this last little bit here is kind of played like a man inspired, so hopefully able to get a couple picks. There's a Shatter, there's the Deadeye, able to combine for a couple of mostly damage through as the pin gets Snowquack, but Seattle Peaks still with the advantage in this battle.
Yeah, and this will look like to be a soft reset coming through. We are going to get the data coming out from Candina, but that just finds nothing but the shielding. There was an immortality field dropped it as well to help protect that team through that. Now the Reinhardt's just going hammer and hammer here, trying to slug it out of the front line as we get the M-Matrix coming out on the other side. Wall there to separate Kinsey from the rest of his team, and he does get deleted. Meanwhile, the Mercy gets the res off, and Bob comes out to help supplement. So, for momentarily, we at least had Double Dinkers back at a 6-man roster with a little help from Bobbert the Butler. Snowquack popping that Primal Rage, and he's going to pick up one. Kind of an Aaron Blizzard on point. Did find one as they're able to find Candina. Oh, and Protocol falls in with a nice kill onto the Mercy. And after this, a bit of a back-and-forth slugfest. It does look like Seattle Peaks does emerge victorious here on this defense. 2:40 left on the clock, and a lot of ultimates spent in that battle.
Yeah, they're still taking a lot of pressure, but the biggest play there was probably the sound barrier coming out from Karis that really kind of saved them in that fight. But right back at it, though, wasting no time. Double Dinkers coming back in. Bob dropping quickly is now it's still a 6v6. They don't have the help from that Omnic. Looks like another self-destruct coming in over the top from Echo. So 5-4, it's huge from Seattle Peaks. Oh my God. And whittling that time bank even further. 2:15 is once again Double Dinkers need to reset. What a bomb.
Huge Bob coming out, and that should absolutely help them bounce back in this ult economy. Snowquack able to find the pull on Echo still, but they're going to just trade out there on the back of the point. So both teams now down to 5, and that's going to favor the defense here as they're just trying to eat up more clock time. And the Diva will certainly get back into this fight a little quicker than that Roadhog will. Nice Maywall coming up to divide Kinsey from the rest of the team. Deadeye there to finish him off, and he falls with Earth Shatter in his pocket. That could have been the difference maker here, and now it should be free reign here if fetal position even decides to use it. Looks like he's not even going to use that Shatter. He's going to save that for another day.
Yeah, I think realizing they already won that fight with the 2 picks, and good to hold off on it there because now they're kind of tipping the scale the other direction. Double Dinkers with the advantage, and immediately fetal position dropping down, and it could be an open floodgates here for Double Dinkers. There's the Deadeye. Kadena finding a third with the second with the Deadeye there, and Y Protocol dropping as well to try and get the res back in on the Kenzie. But yeah, Double Dinkers now taking a little bit more control. More of what we've seen. They were staggered and kind of stalled for a little while, but Seattle Peaks finally folded, and now we were in last fight kind of region here, territory on the point with just 60 seconds left. There's the sound barrier and a lot of ultimates coming through. Bullskunk, the Blizzard out, gets 2 from White Protocol, the Deadeye. Maybe Seattle Peaks can hold on here.
Yeah, that was 3 ultimates used simultaneously on the side of Seattle Peaks. They had them to spend as they still have the Ant Matrix and the Earth Shatter online. Bomb coming up not far behind that, and just 42 seconds on the clock. And if you look at the other side, they don't have much to work with there on the side of Double Dinkers. Bob and perhaps a Nano Boost coming up this fight as we got Snowquack making the swap over to the Zarya coming off of that Roadhog.
Yeah, Seattle Peaks played this a lot more patiently. We saw with conservatism of the Earth Shatter from fetal position earlier. Now he's got it to use it. There's the self-destruct, just try and split the payload or the point a little bit. A nice Shatter coming in, gets a couple, and already they've got the kills with 15 seconds left. Seattle Peaks completely turning things around from the first half of this map and getting the kills they need to round this out. It's looking really good so far.
Yeah, with just 9 seconds on the clock, it is definitely Seattle's map here to win. We'll see. They do have somebody back capping, and that's going to force the rest of the team to run back to the objective and not continue the pressure up front. And meanwhile, the tanks from Double Dinkers are going to roll in as they make the swap over to the Hammond and try to help stall this out. Big Earth Shatter comes out. That finds 4. The May trying to back up, see if they can protect their team with the Amp Matrix in the back line. But way to throw that down, devalue that ultimate. Bob coming out finds 1, and here comes the barrage from the other side. The combination of these ultimates might have been enough for Double Dinkers to turn this tide, and it all comes back to that back cap. Was the Mercy going back there and just starting to slowly push the cart, opened up all kinds of room, and holy cow, what a turn of events here on the back of Blue.
It just all fell apart for Seattle there. It looked so good up to that third point. They get all the kills they need with a few seconds left, missed the back half, and that just allowed time for the rest of the team to come back in and continue contesting that. Absolutely bananas. Kudana getting the double there with the rocket barrage as well, and oh man, what a turnaround that would have been. Seattle Peaks on the verge of slamming the door shut after a completely ruthless attack through the first 2 sections from Double Dinkers, but ultimately just completely forcing their way through, capping all 3 points in overtime, albeit. So, I mean, that'll be helpful if you're Seattle, but it would have been really nice to keep that 3rd point off the board.
I got to point out the wonderful coordination coming out from both of these teams on that back point. Earlier on point C, we saw a nice hook onto the Reinhardt. They broke the shield down, opened it up for the hook, delete the Reinhardt, and then lay down the massive shatter. And then in response, on the next engagement, we see Seattle throw the bomb into the back, forces the Reinhardt to spin around, and then that gives a free shatter there for fetal position. So just fantastic teamwork, and I mean, these teams looking so evenly matched. As now we have Double Dinkers coming in on the defense, bringing us that Reinhardt Zarya, sticking with this pharmacy comp.
It still kind of seems like Seattle's working to get up into 5th gear here. They did, well enough on Ilios to get the round there, and obviously we saw a little bit of some flashes of really well-coordinated defenses there in the 3rd point in Blizzard World. So we'll see if they can build on that momentum and get a good attack here and maybe take us into some extra rounds. But Double Dinkers absolutely want to be able to go into the halfway point of the match with those 2 points.
Echo sticking onto this diva here to accompany the Reinhardt. No changes out of the DPS lineup either. In fact, no changes at all in this composition coming out of Seattle. It looks like they're going to path up here to Griffin. And I'm not sure on this diva. I understand the point is to try to contest the Pharah, but I kind of agree with your assessment of win the ground war. And I think using a Zarya there to push the front line might be the better option. We'll see if they're able to find some space here and if this counter will work, whether they choose to try to focus down this far. A nice Maywall coming up, trying to separate the front line from the back. That leaves just enough of a sliver for them to escape back into the other side. As this is kind of rotated around, the attackers becoming the defense here, trying to push in through the back door. But they've got a juiced up Zarya to worry about, and Vespa Lazar laying shots true on that Ashe. They are trying to respond with an Amp Matrix, but cannot seem to find the goods, as it is just going to be Kinsey getting in their faces and wiping them clean here. The defense holding on with about 2:55 left on the clock.
Yeah, for Seattle there, it was an A for the idea, a B for the execution, though, and then obviously a D for the follow-through. It looked like there's a difference here between lethargy and patience, and I feel like they were more of the former in that they were kind of positioning themselves, moving around at the back of the point. They were just moving too slowly, and the defense read it too easily. So they're going to try this back way around again, looking to move a little bit more quickly here and see if not so much catch the defense off guard, but try and kind of blitz in a little bit more quickly and disrupt them. But now as Bob comes in, they're going to be disrupted themselves. It's going to be difficult for them to take down that Omnic there in a tight area. But as I say, that sword knocked them down quickly. Still, the battle inside this room is not where they want to be, and it's going to start clogging up their attack even further.
Well, they lost their primary source of healing before they even made it through the primary choke, so they're still waiting for their Baptiste to even get back in this battle. The Pharah continues to rain shots down here into Griffin. Snowquack already with Graviton Surge online. In fact, everything but that just recently used Bob available here for the defense. Here comes the barrage. She gets Bubble to protect her. What a great play. And the Baptiste once again sent back to spawn. We did get the sound barrier coming out, and Serato able to finally take that far out of the sky. So back to a 5v5 here on the point. Graviton Surge and Earth Shatter coming out. Earth Shatter is blocked, but the Graviton Surge makes it through. Nano Boost onto that Reinhardt means that Fire Strike does oh so much damage, especially with a little damage boost from that Mercy. And some fantastic play coming through on the defense is going to wipe this clean, and it's back to spawn with Seattle Peaks.
Double Dinkers is playing such a reactive defense, and it's working for them. They just keep waiting to see what the attack is going to do and then responding in kind, and it's working out really, really well. They're able to use their ultimates effectively. Bob's now going in early to try and disrupt the attack even further, and they're just wasting time. Still ultimates building here for Double Dinkers, though, and some now built for Seattle Peaks. So if they're going to actually take this point, this is going to be the push right here. But already 2 members going down for them, and they're splitting a few of their ultimates with the amplification matrix already up, but without a full team to follow through with it.
And they're investing bomb as well. That will find the Ash, but I do question that Amp Matrix. The McCree had gotten taken out, and I think that's the person who's going to get the most value out of that Amp Matrix. He was done and dusted. Now, Candina answering back, and we're here at a 5v5 here. Is Seattle Peaks trying to push right up Main Street this time for going their clever flank strategy. Or Shatter coming out, finds 2, but... Well, I was about to say no follow-up, but B. Carras does get taken out. Vinci with a big charge, pushes fetal position all the way across, finds that kill. Snowquack putting in a ton of damage, glowing like a Christmas tree, already building up 85% towards another barrage. Vespalazar finding a pair of kills in that as well. With just 13 seconds on the clock, I don't know if Seattle Peaks has enough time to even make it back.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. A late blizzard there, and now all the resources completely shot here for Seattle Peaks. Dana making him pay here at the choke. I don't think anybody's going to get back to touch. Ooh, what a difference one round makes, though. Ooh.
Oh, man. And that last fight, well, I guess second to last engagement technically, but it just took so much time. They took so much time trying to get in there, and then they didn't save anything left for that final push. And despite the best efforts from Echo still here with this 4K Diva Bomb, it is going to be Double Dinkers taking a 2-0 lead here in tonight's series.
Yeah, this is a really impressive bomb, and obviously kind of turned the tide for Seattle Peaks in what almost was a nice defense for them on the third point of Blizzard World, but ultimately all kind of fell apart, and Double Dinkers go into the midpoint. Yeah, lots to play for if you're Seattle Peaks. This could be your season right here at 2 and 3, trying to get back in the win column, but this is not where you want to be.
And I feel like they just never found an answer to that far. Yeah, I mean, either compositionally or strategically. Yeah, didn't have a plan, didn't have a solid attack. It seemed almost split, where you're trying to use the Diva and the McCree to help control the skies, but then there's not enough to win the ground war, and so they end up almost within this spot of indecision, where it's better to make a poor decision and stick with it and commit to it than to make no decision at all. And I can't help but feel that they were kind of stuck in that indecision, a little bit of that lethargy that you spoke of there during the round.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know what needs to change. They did force Condana over to the McCree at one point, but that wasn't, it seemed like that maybe it was a little bit more effective. I think it was on the third point in, on their attack, because the ceilings kind of make it a little bit more difficult for the fair to play. But, and that's when they start to get a little bit of progress. It's just, you see the patience and you see them trying to have controlled approach to all their attacks. But again, just moving a little too slowly and not quite able to kind of blitz in as quickly as I think you'd want. And Double Dinkers, again, just waiting for the attack to see what they're going to do and responding in kind.
Well, we're going to take a quick break here for halftime. We will see you back here on Volskaya Industries and see if Seattle Peaks can start their comeback, start their reverse sweep. We almost saw one last night. I think tools. We'll find out when we return here in just a few moments. Y'all don't go anywhere. Welcome back, my friends, here at the Console Overwatch multi-tier tournament on Friday Night Overwatch. Here with the Tier 3 matchup between Double Dinkers and Seattle Peaks. Double Dinkers so far in full control and setting the pace as they have a 2-0 lead here at the half. Really controlling the skies with that far, and so far Seattle Peaks finding no answer to that flying Egyptian. What do you think is the play here as we head into Volskaya? We've seen him attempt the McCree and attempt the Diva, still not finding any success. What would you do if you're in this position here, Sultan?
I think the Seattle Peaks, you've seen a lot of really strong individual efforts. Case in point, the Echo still 4K on the last map, right? White Protocols had some really good plays getting to handle this guy. Field position, solid shatters, some really good rhyme play. Alpha Blood on the Baptiste a lot of times has had really clutch invincibility fields. And it's just a matter of together. You just be clicking at the same time. And I think that's the biggest difference right now is that you've got Double Dinkers who are like you can tell, just very organized, patient in their play, saving up their ultimates, coordinating their ultimates, and able to win the team fights, back and forth. Like just constantly winning team fights, putting pressure on, finding the stragglers. Like they're doing a lot of the things right. And Seattle Peaks have those tools available to them. It's just not all happening at the same time. So I think a little bit, maybe the intermission is what they needed, a little bit of time to just, focus and say, like, we gotta all be on the same page and then make it happen. Because if the turnaround is going to happen, it needs to happen here. And they have an opportunity now coming in as the attackers. So an opportunity to set the pace early on and make Double Dinkers be the ones to respond instead of the other way around.
Indeed, we are getting a side swap here. So we are going to get Seattle Peak in the red jersey. Double Dinkers moving over to the blue. And starting, just a quick reminder of Tracer nor Moira here in today's matchup. So it's so far played a bit of an interesting wrinkle, as we've seen a lot of Ryan Zarya, Ryan Diva, even a little bit of Ryan Hogg earlier. It does look like Double Dinkers opting to that Ryan Zarya. Here's their take into the defense, sticking with that Pharah, which I think is a smart choice. I mean,
yep.
Don't fix it if it ain't broke, right? On the attack,
yeah, pretty similar comp coming out though for Seattle Peaks in the attack with May. So we're going to May had some really bright spots on Ilios. I think the Blizzard's maybe a little misplaced and sometimes on Blizzard World. So hoping that gets a little bit better here. Protocol back in McCree's, Echo still Diva, fetal position, all pretty much identical here from Seattle Peaks, taking a lot of damage. They come in through the choke, though, giving them no space whatsoever. Is Cadena on the Pharah once more, as that defense just wants to hold strongly. Still just waiting for that first pick. No one's found it yet, though. Still pushing, prodding, pulling slowly. Finally, something starting to go through as the defense still getting a little bit more damage through, but it's not quite coming out for the attackers yet.
Yeah, they saw an opportunity. Cooldowns have been used and disposed of, and I think Double Dinkers thought they might have had an opening, but overextend a bit. Kenzie goes down, and with that, Seattle Peaks choosing to push and see if they can take advantage of this opportunity, but they lose their Diva in the process. Vespa Laser sitting on middle box, just raining down tons of damage, and as usual, Candinia just putting a hurt down from the skies. Bob getting himself in the mix as well, and even without it, Reinhardt, this defense able to hold on. Double Dinkers winning that first engagement handily.
Yeah, it did just, again, felt like Seattle Peaks got that initial kill, and that should have been the sign to go, to push in, and they were still being really kind of slow about it and allowed Cadena to get it over the top and catch them in a weird middle portion, kind of between the choke and the point. So, just moving a little bit quicker, I think, could be the solution here for Peaks. We'll see how they take this next engagement.
We do have Protocol coming up on a Deadeye. Sound Barrier actually should be online before that. So they might have something to counter the barrage that we are about to see come out from Candido. I thought he was about to just drop it and use it there. I was thinking that was going to be a bold move there, sir, but he does think better of it. I can't help but think that one crossed his mind as he saw all 6 members of Seattle sitting there lying in wait. But they do get the egg and the subsequent kill onto Echo still. And without that defense matrix, it is going to be a quick retreat coming through from Seattle Peaks. Oh, Kenzie coming up with a nice exit kill.
It's just methodical. You see Double Dinkers, they get that first kill and the entire team starts moving in for a second. They apply the pressure as soon as they have the advantage. So that's what you want to see from Seattle. They've got some ultimates now, especially Protocol's Deadeye that they could use to get Cadena and Papa Nerf Me, that Mercy out of the sky. It could give them a significant advantage coming to this point. But as the clock starts to tick down, they need to make something happen quickly.
Yeah, already over half of their attack phase eaten up here, and we've got 6 ultimates online. Bob Graviton Surge coming out directly on the side of the defense. Immortality Field there, but it cannot survive the massive onslaught coming through. Barrage thrown over the top as well. And they do lose Cadena, but the res is there, and another reset coming through from Seattle Peaks. They do have some ultimates to work with coming back in, though.
Combined nicely there, Snowquack with the Graviton, and just opened the doors for Cadena to come in with a barrage. It was kind of skewed there on the side a little bit, but still able to get the damage they needed to win that fight. But you're exactly right. The ultimate's building quickly for Seattle Peaks, and the last thing you want is Double Dinkers getting a little over-exuberant and pushing too far forward and getting caught out. Protocol starting it off early, though, with a kill on Vespa Laser. Now even as Karis goes down, though, so 5v5. Ultimate starts to really come out now, though, and we'll see if they can break it through.
Blizzard comes out, but I think their own Maywall denied any follow-up there. Reinhardt caught in a strange position, but now he gets the nano boost, throws down the Earth Shatter, and he turns this thing right over. What looks to be a vulnerability turns into a massive strength here for Double Dinkers, as Kinsey just alphaing all over this point. He said, this is my Volskaya Industries, and you can't have it.
Yeah, it just comes down to the coordination. Seattle Peak starts to move into the point, and as soon as they get through the gate, not really a good idea. I'm not sure who's shot calling, but no idea which way they're going, which target they're focusing, and it's really just allowing Double Dinkers to split them apart and kind of tear them up. So we'll see if they can come back here. Late, a little Graviton going out trying to catch a couple.
Clock dwindling down. I don't even know if Seattle's gonna get their touch. Lucio trying to get their touch. Okay, he does make it on. The Ash not quite able to pick him off. And that bomb coming through did pick off a pair, but they're gonna lose their Reinhardt. That Lucio does eventually drop. Overtime Wick is a burden, making her way onto the objective, but there's no healing there. Here comes the Diva to try to back it up as the mate goes down. One lone mech standing on this point, trying to hold on the hopes of Seattle Peaks, but now it is just the pilot, and she doesn't last long. Neither does that Overtime Wick, and it's going to be a full hold coming through from Double Dinkers.
That was a good example there. Echo Steel was trying to take the fight with Zarya off the point as they were in overtime and finally decided to get back to it, but only after the teammates were gone. I think in that kind of situation, you play a little bit of a tighter group and, target focus makes the difference there. So I think just concentration, focus, and execution, the difference maker. Double Dinker showing us how it's done in this T3 matchup. And Seattle Peaks just need a little bit tighter cohesion. Though, to their credit, I don't want to rail on them too hard at all. They have been going through quite a few roster changes in the first half of the season and trying to get things kind of sorted, a little bit of flips and flops. So it could be a matter of just trying to find the gelling together. So definitely not something that's easy to do. Team chemistry is difficult to build and something to work hard at. So it's just a tale of maybe a team that's had 6 weeks now, 5 weeks to work together, and a team that is still trying to get an understanding,
Well, last time we saw Seattle Peaks, Echo still was playing DPS and doing a fantastic job of it. So, I mean, just making, those kind of swaps where your DPS player is now playing your off-tank position. I mean, there's some similarities as far as how you aim, especially with the Zarya, but, a lot of differences in how you position and how you focus your cooldowns, use your cooldowns to support the rest of your team. And yeah, they definitely seem to be searching for that synergy. Also important to note that the best they can hope for here is a draw, which means this match has already been decided. Double Dinkers will take the dubs across the board. Even if Seattle can find their stride here, manage to put up a full hold and win the next map, it will be Double Dinkers winning 2-0-1. But not to count this out yet. Double Dinkers, of course, not going to let off the gas. They want the 3-0. They want to take Volskaya and claim it for their own. They're going to bring a little bit of ball Zarya here to try to make that happen. No surprise seeing Candina back on that Pharah.
Kenzie all over the map on the ball, already trying to cause problems in from behind.
Yeah. Protocol going down early. They do find that res, but I think, just making a big statement early. Candina is going to follow up, and Protocol goes down for the second time. Oh, poor guy just wants to play the game. Can't even stay on his feet. The Mercy drops as well. Mate goes down, and this thing will snowball in after a bit of cleanup. This will be Volskaya Industries going to Double Dinkers and a 3-0 lead here in tonight's series.
Oh, yeah. All credit to Double Dinkers. They've been playing really, really well, and kind of, oh my goodness, half the point. Oh my goodness, they're still taking this fight.
This is just some BM. This is just
little bit.
Here.
I will say congratulations to them for kind of getting the points here. Yeah, just absolutely just disgraceful.
This is BM.
Seattle Peaks, you want to see them try and come back and get the fourth map there and see if they can't find a little bit of There we go. Yeah, maybe we'll start capper now, but maybe get that last map and start to get a little more of the team cohesion. It's got to start somewhere, and you might have thought the galvanizing moment might have been late there on Blizzard World when it looked like they were going to be able to take down the last 2 maps, though. But yeah, what can you do?
Yeah, that was solid defense coming through from them, like you're saying, on Blizz, but they weren't able to put together the attack. And I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen anything like this. Yeah. As we're now getting some mines coming out, and this is just a little disgraceful. I'm a little ashamed to even be watching this. The Sombra back on the point. Sombra kills both of the supports. There it is. Finally, the cap comes through, and the 3-0 there for Double Dinkers. That was an interesting display there, Sultan. An interesting display. Weird flex, I must say. Weird flex.
Yeah, you know, and I know, especially in tier 3, there's a lot of rivalries, maybe a lot of bad blood that exists in this tier of Overwatch specifically. So it's possible that maybe that's just them, you know, just trolling a little bit.
Yeah, there was definitely a little
A little
troll
friendly back and forth, perhaps. Maybe not so friendly. Who knows? But Elevators taking away the win, and you know, you do hope they're able to come back and get this last map. I think I predicted Seattle Peaks 3-1. It looks like it's going the opposite direction. We all thought this was going to be a bit of a tighter matchup, so I want to see Peaks come back and see what they can do.
Yeah, apparently that moment was just fully on the of Double Dink. And I mean, and a team that started off the season 0-3, now moving to 3-3 here.
Yeah, that is the other side of the story.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And with their fair share of losses, you know, maybe maybe they just felt the need that hey, we're finally looking good. We gotta try and show it off a little bit. I mean, who knows? Who knows?
That is true. Yeah, you can see this maybe like a team building. Is more so than you know, they're happy able to get their season back to 3-3. So, you know, congratulations to them for the win. We're still going to go to the final map here, which is Dorado.
Map points always
indeed important.
All right.
Now, Dorado, as opposed to Blizzard World, I actually do like Dorado.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. What kind of comps you like to run here? What kind of heroes you like to play here as your approach to? What's your approach?
Well, I for the longest time was a Zen main, just hardcore support main predominantly. I doing that, but now I try to switch to tank. I'm trying to flesh out my tank skills a little bit. I'm playing a lot of Zarya. I think just a classic Zarya round is a lot of fun. And then combine that with maybe like a Junkrat.
Junkrat's, you know, very strong on this. Definitely a very strong Reinhardt map. I'm gonna say I do love some Winston on this map as well.
Oh yeah, a lot of
you got some high ground you can utilize both on first and second point. Not so effective on third, but you know, a bit of a playground here for dive. If you like running that kind of thing, I'm personally a fan. So that's hey, I just love playing Winston. He's just such a fun character to play.
I'm a bot on Winston, as it turns out. I like the idea of Winston. I do enjoy seeing really good Winston players. Their ability to get in and out of situations, seemingly with, you know, his kid is astonishing to me. Considering I feel like every time I dive into something, I just immediately get melted. I don't know how to play around the shield well enough at all, but you know, it's just, you know, different strokes for different folks, I suppose.
Well, I mean, one of the big keys with Winston is just getting yourself in good position early, and you know, try to drop in, see if you can do some damage and save that cooldown, save that jump cooldown for your escape is the way to go. You know, you don't always have that option, and of course, you do get that jump damage is key with Winston. So you know, it's nice to try to get that in, see if you can isolate some squishies with it. But you know, coordination and dive just is, you know, it requires a lot. So it's not something I'm expecting to see here.
You could sit there and explain the concept of playing Winston to me, but as soon as I try it, it's like I've got two elbows. I don't know what to
tell you. That's like me on Diva, man. I totally understand. I totally understand. I'm a tank player. Like, you'd think going over to Diva wouldn't be much of a stretch, but for some reason, it just never quite comes together. You know, I seem to be just two left hands and all thumbs. Maybe all pinkies, even, you know, like trying to control my thumbs, my joysticks with the pinkies. It just does not come together.
I think having 5 thumbs might be pretty useful, actually.
5 thumbs could be useful on a controller.
Yeah, 5 pinkies would be a little tough,
though. Oh, unfortunately for Seattle, they're kind of looking like 5 pinkies right now. I'm hoping they can bounce back. You know, you'd like to see some signs of life here. Put up a good fight. Give us a good showing here for map number 4. So far, it has been a very one-sided affair, though, and I think it all comes back down to that Pharah. Just raining the hell from above, and no answer coming through on the other side. What would you think about going to like a double hit scan? I mean, why wouldn't you go, say, you know, Soldier McCree or Soldier Ash, or even... I don't know. Maybe even a a Somber or something and try to help get into the back line or try to help deal with it. But that's, you know, that might be a little far-fetched.
Oh, looks like, oh, interestingly enough, Cadena in the chat is saying 3-1. It's predicting a loss on Dorado. Shocking.
Well, without any further time wasted, let's head to Dorado. Let's head to beautiful Mexico.
As always, we appreciate you guys joining us on Friday Night Overwatch. Do this every Friday. We got a nice doubleheader tonight where the first game, you know, was a pretty fun watch. It was a little one-sided as well, but, you know, sometimes you get those, sometimes you don't. Still looking for that elusive Game 5 in Friday Night Overwatch. But if you do enjoy the stream and you like the content we're putting out, please, you know, hit a follow on the channel. We love all the content in the chat here, too. You guys are flaming some of these players, which is pretty funny. And congratulating some of them, which is even better.
And don't forget to check out the Console Gaming League on YouTube. There are replays of these matches there. If you want to go back, kind of break it down yourself. Perhaps you missed our first series tonight or missed a little bit of this series. You can always go there and get the full and see all the action. I believe you follow them on Twitter as well. Get notified when they go live. Don't miss a beat. As we're heading into Dorado, we did get the swap sides once again. So Seattle Peaks back in their blue jerseys. Double Dinkers taken to the attack. And it looks like we're going to get some Reaper May with the Reinhardt Zarya out of the gate. I like this. I like this a lot. Put all your attention into the front line, win the main tank battle, and see if they can take it from there. Oh, look at this. Just putting the pressure on right out of the gate. Seattle is coming out angry.
Ooh, big swap Shirley Vacancy for the first time, not playing the Reinhardt, deciding to go Sigma this time, not working out immediately, but as you've seen before on some of these Dorado early holds, if you start losing some members as the defense, you could very well lose that first point pretty early on. So I like the aggression here from Seattle, but the last thing you want to do is get caught out. And now with Cadena free and in the sky, it could start getting a little bit worse. Best Blazer quickly with the kill onto Blood is now Bosa Forcer down here for Seattle Peaks to a 6v4 right in front of the attacking spawn. That's not what you want to see. Cadena with a third. And just like that, it's Seattle Peaks wilting. Double Dinkers continues push.
Yeah, unfortunately, the best beans didn't quite come through on that one. But, you know, with that early attack, they do give themselves a chance for another assault or another engagement, should I say. They can get back and put up a hold here on Statue, a pretty traditional spot to try to hold. You do have Genji way in the back line, trying to pressure this high ground, is going to look for that Widowmaker protocol, making that swap coming off the Reaper. We do have Sora going over to the Soldier to try to help deal with the skies. We'll see if these changes are what the doctor ordered. They are going to run that Genji right back out in the front line of Seattle. Just charging all the way forward to try to put some pressure down. Ooh. A big gutsy Riz coming through, but an even bigger barrage from the other side. 3K coming through for Cadena. And this should be a point A getting picked up after a little bit of cleanup. But, you know, after Volskaya, you know, who knows what they're going to do.
Out for Blood with a risky rest in a tough spot. And ended up paying for it. Dropped there and it all kind of went south shortly thereafter. Still an opportunity for Seattle Peaks to contest now as they kind of conceded that first point. Hoping to try and jam things up in the second. Now Vacancy just icing on the cake with the ultimate here. They still got a couple to work with, including the Nano Blade on the way. Oh, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit difficult here for Seattle Peaks.
Yeah, and unfortunately the contest coming through just a second too late, and the doors were already opening. They did get that Gravitic Flux out, like you were saying, so a bit of a moral victory, if you could, but fetal position making that swap. They're going back over to the Diva composition here, so you have that high ground to work with. The Blade came out, sans Nano, and it does get taken down. Now we are trying to get... The res does come back through it. Somehow the Hog ended up on the high ground. Snowquack, how the heck did you get up there? You know, when pigs fly, I suppose, but he goes up there and drops that ultimate down. And it is going to force Seattle Peaks off the high ground, and this has just turned into an absolutely disjointed mess here on Streets Phase. Seattle Peaks trying to recenter themselves and put some pressure back down to this cart. Protocol is going to win the sniper duel, and that is a good start here for this defense as they look to bounce back here in this series.
Yeah, I think with the game in hand, it's Double Dinkers playing this a little fast to lose, but Seattle Peaks not taking as much of an advantage as I think they could be here. A nice jam up in the second point as Double Dinkers not quite pushing through as far as they could, and the switch from Sora onto, or rather Protocol onto the Widowmaker might be the play. Getting that pick on the Vespa Laser might start evening the rounds here but Cadena back at it, taking the Widow from the sky, eliminating the threat, and we could see Double Dinkers continue pushing here in a second. Now the rocket barrage is built for that Pharah. Still looking for the chance to use it. May have it here, but ooh, just eyes lighting up. Still gets out for blood regardless without it. And now here goes the rocket barrage, looking for a couple, finds one, can't find another, but with the tactical visor from the other side, nothing doing, and immediately Double Dinkers back at it, push this payload through the middle portion.
Yeah, Kadena able to pick off the Mercy early there. Then finds a pair with the barrage, follows it up with another nice kill. And this Pharah has been absolutely outstanding in controlling the pace and controlling the positioning of Seattle Peaks almost single-handedly. Because now we are going to get another Gravitic Flux to keep Seattle Peaks, or at least to greet Seattle Peaks, should I say, as they come out of the doors from point C to B. You do have the soldier going up on the high ground, trying to contest that Pharah. Meanwhile, we get a DMAC on to fetal position there. B. Carrasco's down as well. Protocol's gonna drop, and it's just Papa nerf me. Pops the Valka, goes all battle mercy on him. Oh man, and this will be a point B picked up. More time added on to the clock here as Double Dinkers are gonna make their way into the power plant.
Yeah, Echo still with an optimistic shadow there. Now switches over to the Sigma, but you get the a really impressive anti-grenade there from that one Tiger, kind of shut down the whole heroic push that he was trying to do there. So now bomb over the top, catches one Vespa laser down. Could be an advantage here for the defense trying to come back into this. Is now they've got the Widow, or now both Widows are down for either team. Cadena still so close to yet another rocket barrage, just building them so quickly. Snowquack with an ultimate as well. Nice hook here onto Echo. Still can't quite find the kill though, but they continue pushing around the corner. 2:53 on the clock here for Double Dinkers, and a lot of time to work with as they're just having their way with this other team. Another pin here onto the Sigma, but gets away just stunned. And yeah, I don't really know what the answer is here for Seattle Peaks. I'm not sure exactly what they can do to fix this.
Yeah, somehow, some way they need to avoid the Pharah or kill the Pharah, because been a massive pain in their necks all night long. Here comes the barrage. Great sound barrier comes out though, denies any damage, and Protocol able to pick her out of the sky. That is how you answer the Pharah, and they're able to pull it together here on the back of Dorado. Cadena actually making the swap over to the Ash, deciding not finding enough room to work here inside the power plant, as it looks like we might actually get a reset, a rare reset coming through from Double Dinkers here on the defense. Oh, I spoke too soon. Vesper Laser coming up with the kill with the Sonic Arrow itself. Snowquack able to find Echo still in the off-tank battle. And now the Flux coming through the other way, and it looks to be clear grounds in front of them. They can see the victory spot here at the end of point. See, we are going to get that res coming through onto Sora. But Whole Hog coming out, and it is still Double Dinkers in complete control here on the back end of Dorado.
Yeah, it's the attack, or rather just the coordination of the play from Seattle Peaks just reminds me of cold starting a mower. Like we saw it there, they finally, for the first time, reacted to the Pharah immediately, shut her down, and then immediately lost 2 picks. Like they have flashes where it starts looking like it's about to get going, and it just completely fizzles out. So disappointed there that they weren't able to get a couple of those kills and completely clog up the defenses. It looks like Double Dinkers is well on their way to capping this point here. But yeah, it looks like they're so close to getting over the line, and then it doesn't quite happen for Seattle Peaks.
And they're playing a dangerous game here. They're doing their same maneuver where they're intentionally not touching cart and letting it just slowly drift back so that they get to assert their dominance for as long as possible here on the back of point C, not allowing Seattle Peaks to get out of their spawn. But I like your mower analogy, because it seems like just when you think it's about to turn over, they just can't quite seem to get it to hum properly. I'm kind of hoping that this little bit of BM showing backfires here, just because I hate to see this kind of unsportsmanlike conduct. I feel like this really is against the spirit of what we're about here, and I'm really not a fan of it. So I'm really rooting for Seattle Peaks to bounce this thing back, and I hope this display just absolutely backfires on Double Dinkers. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Well, I do have to agree with that. Obviously, we're all trying to coordinate in times to get these games played. Nobody ever wants to see just a lack of sportsmanship, especially when it could just be done and dusted. But here we are regardless. I would like to see Seattle be able to pull something back. It may or may not happen. Now the sound barrier coming out as they're trying to reinforce the side. The Deadeye comes out, grabs 2. Here's an opportunity, though, as 2 members of Double Dinkers down without got a respawn advantage. Starting to go the other direction, though. They find 2 more, and it looks like maybe we'll be able to shut down this attack. Just the tanks, or just 1 tank remaining here.
It's just an Ana and the Hog. The Hog gets anti taken out. That Ana was whittled super low by the McCree. She can't have much life left. And indeed, Seattle Peaks able to shut this thing down before they pick up that third point. Now the question remains, can they put together the assault to push it home?
Yeah, and obviously, overarching point here is that Double Dinkers do have the win, so I'm sure they don't care that much. But as far as, from a viewer perspective, I want to see Seattle Peaks be able to shut down the attack. Just wasting a couple minutes there at the end. If they're able to pull a map back here, I think we'd like to see it.
At this point, I would love to see Seattle come back and put a point on the board. Just see if they can get that goose egg out of their win column and lift their chins up, because this is a absolutely upstanding team. This is a team that is always there and is respectful of everybody else, and you hate to see them kind of fall under this kind of treatment, to be perfectly honest.
Well, and to your point, there are lesser teams that would have just backed out, during the kind of thing, but they're staying in it, kind of taking on the chin and still putting their trying to coordinate their attacks and put things together. So yeah, all credit to Seattle for just the sportsmanship. We appreciate it. That's exactly what the community's about.
I've said it time and time again on broadcast, that to me the most important element that you can bring to Overwatch isn't your mechanical sense, isn't your game knowledge, it's heart and tenacity and the ability to dig deep when things aren't working and to try to turn it around and to find the right answer. And I think that's something Seattle is bringing in spades, and they get nothing but respect from me.
So coming on their attack now, changed up a little bit. Protocol going over to the Doomfist off the McCree, fetal position over to a Wrecking Ball now. So a much more dynamic, flexible, modular comp here from Seattle Peaks. We'll see if they can take advantage. Already aggressively coming into the high ground, trying to cause some problems for Vespalazer on the Brigida. Containa still causing a little bit of issues, raining in that damage, but Echo still getting the first blood on the board. Vespalazer dropping, and now it's a 6v5 for the attackers.
Yeah, I think this dive composition was a great change up here, as the Doomfist from Protocol going in, finding success early, putting a lot of pressure down.
Oh my goodness.
They're able to deny that res there, and that was a very clean assault coming through from Seattle. They are definitely coming back pissed off. Those hearts are full and pumping, and they want this map, and you can just see it in their gameplay coming out. We do have Vespalazer trying to return back on the Brig. And as you might have noticed, we even have the members of Double Dinkers have completely swapped up. Everybody playing off roles here, aside from Cadena going back onto that Forest signature hero. Kenzie able to win the Hammond battle as the duel of the hamsters seems to go the way of Double Dinkers. We are going to get a barrage coming out. Protocol is going to get caught out by that, but Echo still able to find the kill onto that Brigida. So
yeah, Cadena back at it that with another kill, and Vespalazer able to brought back into the fight rather by Papa Nerf Me. So things go in the way of Double Dinkers. You're right, they are playing off a little bit. That first little burst of enthusiasm right out the gate, though, for Seattle was bright to see. That dive attack did seem like it was causing a difference, but as the Deadeye comes out and grabs two here from Snowquack, they might be shutting the door here on the defense.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be a reset here from Seattle, though they are coming back in with a couple ultimates. Most importantly, I believe, would be that sound barrier, as that can be used to answer what is coming online on the other side. Cadena just throwing ults to the wind here. And they also have that tack visor. It could be a great counter to the pharmacy combo. We'll see if he can find the angle to make it work. Very aggressive
going in again.
Yeah, just very aggressive posture.
Blowing out the point a little bit.
And it does find 2 kills there from that one Tiger, who has made the swap over into the main tank role. We're going to get Valkyrie used on the side of Double Dinkers as well. And it does look like yet another reset coming through from Seattle, but they have plenty of time to work with on this clock.
Yeah, quite a bit, and a couple ultimates as well. The tactical advisor could help put up this team a little bit and definitely take care of the pharmacy combo in the sky, which could really open the door for them to continue pushing. But right here at this choke, they have been completely stopped up.
We'll see if
here comes a couple ultimates now, though.
Can make the difference. We are going to get the Meteor Strike out, and that res coming back through onto Echo still, so they're back at a full 6-man, but that was before the barrage comes out, and Protocol caught out by that death from above. Snowquack able to find the second kill onto Echo still. Big Karas, not long for this world either. And it is going to be Double Dinkers here maintaining their dominant control here around the statue as Seattle's trying to find an opening into point B.
Yeah, Echo still up and down, though, res, and then right back out of it. The D.Va that they were playing earlier might be the play here. Winston now 82% though to a Primal Rage, which could be helpful, but I would expect to see a Diva switch afterwards to try and answer the Pharah. That's been the story of this whole game, really. It's just not an inability to deal with Kadena in the sky, and in the times they've been able to, it's been really helpful. But I liked the dive right off the bat, but I think as Double Dinker starts to adapt to it, they're kind of turning it around. Now Sora with a tactical visor looking for something. The sky still hasn't found Kadena, and maybe that's exactly what he wanted to use the tactical visor, but the Pharah is still a problem. Finally getting some of the kills though is Echo still in fetal position, combined for a couple, but a res will offset one as Kadena still in the feed and just not being made a priority.
But Echo's still doing a good job of pushing her out of position, allowing some space for his team to work. They do get that cart around the corner, and they're able to push out of that tough choke. Now we are going to get the sound barrier coming out from Seattle Peaks. Mines on the cart, but they're just going to circle around to the front of it, circumvent that ultimate. Oh, Protocol falls into it, but Echo's still able to pick off the Reinhardt on the other side. So still a bit of an opening here. And Kadena gets taken out, kills himself on the bubble. And that is a massive opening here in Seattle, pushing forward, trying to see if they can take advantage of this opportunity. You do have fetal position, moving in on the ball, putting some hurt down onto the Reinhardt. Protocol picking himself up a pair of kills before finally dropping to the hamster on the other side. Now you have both tanks from Double Dinkers stuck in the bank. And all the while, this payload moving forward. Sora comes up with the kill onto the Reinhardt. And they're in a good position here to take this thing into its second point and see if they can push it into the power plant.
Yeah, it certainly looks like I might be eating my words a little bit. I had said that I wasn't sure if Echo Steel was the answer for the Pharah, but then switched over to him, and it seems like he is harassing Kadena quite a bit, even getting that last kill. Hopefully he can maintain. We'll see if Kadena switches as they go into this third point, should they make it there, but still just raining in the damage on the top.
Yeah,
close to an ultimate over the Doomfist.
Snowquack and Kadena are just too much for Seattle Peaks to handle here. They got just ever so slightly disjointed and opened up space for the defense to come back in. Rally was popped in that as well, so just tons of armor for everybody there. And Seattle Peaks just did not have an answer for it. Though they do have a couple of key ults coming up online here, but Protocol falling early in the fight before they're able to make a clean engagement.
Protocol's position there was kind of odd. He used his ultimate to get to the top of a roof, and I think he was going to try and contest the Pharah, but never really got a chance, and then ended up trying to stay up long enough for the fight to end, basically fell down and got eliminated. So kind of a weird positioning decision there, and maybe had a different idea in mind, didn't quite pan out. Here's the tactical vibes from Sora, finally going after Kadena, who concussion mines a way to get away from it. Only the kill going down onto Snowquack now is the barrage the other direction that takes down the soldier who was trying to hunt her in the first place. This Kadena cannot be found. Protocol answering one back though. Now the main tank down for Double Dinkers and an opportunity for Seattle to continue pushing, still having gotten the kills though. Tiger back in the match after the res, and it looks like the advantage going the way of the red team. Bullskunk. Oh, I don't know if they can.
Yeah,
if they can answer.
Final fight here as Mines come out over the point. Echo still had used his primal during that last engagement and then created a lot of space with it, but now the solo victim of an Earthshatter coming out from the other side. The soldier chased off by the Wrecking Ball, so he's not there to help deal with the pharmacy in the sky. The overtime wick will burn down. Oh, and I love the attempt. Even all this adversity, the Mercy trying to fly in, get the contest, get the res. I love the heart coming out from this team. And they absolutely deserve some praise, despite the fact that they are going to go down 4-0 here in this series. But, man, you got to respect that heart coming through at the end, despite all the odds going against them.
Yeah, it absolutely left everything out of the map. So I appreciate that from Seattle. Double Dinkers, lots to be said for just definitely the stronger side throughout. Obviously, a little bit of the BM there. Not what you want to see, but the coordinate, how it's done. Now getting up to 3-3. So congratulations to Double Dinkers for the win. It's going to be Seattle Peaks dropping to 2-4 on the season and still looking to get that team cohesion where it needs to be to really contend with those the higher teams in the tier.
And frankly, that's kind of part of my problem with it. It's not like you're 6-0 here and standing alone on the top of the mountain. Like, you guys are about mid-rung with plenty of teams in Tier 3 that I think that absolutely would smash Double Dinkers. So I think that's a bit of unwarranted and inflated pride here. And, again, props to Seattle Peaks for sticking it out and for playing their hardest all the way to the end. Again, Double Dinkers do take it 4-0, but in unfavorable fashion. You hate to see it.
Yeah, and in this one, I think again, Double Dinkers came out with a game plan and kind of executed maybe got carried away a little bit there towards the end of the match, to be sure. But I think it does stand to reason Cadena and Papa Nervy, that pharmacy combination for Seattle Peaks, and they really didn't have an answer at any point. I know they're still trying to figure out the comps and figure out the roster.
Yes, sir.
So maybe they didn't have a true hit scan looking to take that fair out of the sky. But obviously that was the biggest difference maker, is just constantly seeing Cadena light up the kill feeds. So pretty well, obviously getting the 4 Seattle Peaks coming back in week.
Well, that is going to conclude the broadcast here for Friday Night Overwatch. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. We really appreciate it. Sultan, I appreciate you joining me in the booth, my friend. It was an absolute pleasure getting to cast with you.
That was a lot of fun, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I didn't cast it in a while, but I feel like you're kind of leading the way, and I'm just here along for the ride. I think it was good, man.
Oh, man, it was solid. It was solid. I had an absolute blast. Big thanks to Swift there, picking up the mantle of producer, coming through in the clutch. Also, big shout-outs to Skate Action and Corbeck there, your casters in match number 1, doing a fantastic job on the mics. And big shout-outs to our teams for participating here tonight. And most importantly, once again, to you folks at home for watching and hanging out with us here, much love. It really keeps the wind in our sails, and it's why we do it here, folks. But that will conclude tonight's broadcast. Y'all have a wonderful evening. Remember to look out for each other in game and out, and we will see you next Friday here on Friday Night Overwatch.
Ooh, good night, guys.